This is KBOB here in Bozeman, Montana, reporting on the snowpocalypse 2019. Good grief, that was a Jeep Wagoneer once. Look up pictures of my Jeep Wagoneer so you don't think this is an extended cabin height thing or something here. It really is that much snow. I just dug a pathway here through 3-foot drifts, and it just keeps coming down. It's not stopping. It's just supposed to drop another 5 inches or something next bit here. But yeah, anybody who remembers where we were going to not have ice caps by now, and all this stuff, all this great science done by these non-scientists who purely have political agendas. I'm working on my song, Bee Gees song, Jive Talkin', done to cow farting, so misunderstood, yeah. Cow farting don't do the planet no good. Somebody. Anyway, yeah, it just goes on beautifully, as you can imagine. Watch for that release. I need to get in the studio and burn a track for it. I don't like the one that's on the karaoke track on that one, so I'll be doing my own track. And anyway, yeah, beautiful, but man, it's hard to deal with this stuff. There's no place left to pile it. I mean, I've got an 8-foot pile over here where I'm trying to throw it. Look at this, it's just ridiculous. Clearing it out of my driveway, trying to keep my vehicles so I can access them. Look at that. There's a mountain of snow higher than my van, which is piled up a extra foot and something. It's just insane. Yeah, this is the worst year I've had since we've been here, I think, for snow pile up. 7-foot stack last year. It's just a little higher already, and we're not done. It's late February here. Could be a killer March for all I know. If it doesn't collapse my roof. This I hand piled. This mountain of snow it was 8 foot tall, I think. It's shrunk 7 and something now. Oh man, this was done by machine over here. Somebody scooped that stuff in there with a cap. This I did by hand. That I did by hand. I cleared my car over there, and over there I did by hand. Over here I did by hand. This is all hand scooped snow. Now, global warming, obviously I think it's cohesively changed to global climate change, and this really isn't climate change, it just cycles here and in and out. And we only have a scant 50 to 100 year, depending on how you want to look at the credibility. Of course, NASA was found forging some data, so you can't even trust our current data, depending on where you get it. But we have very shoddy representation of data over history. We just have this little tiny window we're looking at. And we know from good historical record that it was obviously much warmer in the Middle Ages than it has been in any time in our recorded history. So industrialization did not produce the biggest dynamic flux in history. It was before industrialization, folks. So don't be stupid. Don't be duped by these people that have an obvious agenda to introduce a climate tax. Welcome to Montana, March 2nd. Where everybody drives pickup truck. Yes, sirree. It's except me. I've got my friend's Exploder now, and my Cavalier is still over there, which has several feet of snow on top. I'm going to try driving it today and let that fly off. I drove the van and got a little bit of it off yesterday, but it's still pretty packed up. Anyway, yeah, there's a thing on my website too, sounddoctrine.com, where on the Ministry Networking page I do a calculation down at the bottom showing what would happen if everyone on the planet that can drive drove a log truck 10,000 miles a year. It affects the atmosphere in volume about 2.9 ppm, but most of that gas that comes out is immediately recycled. A lot of it's still oxygen, nitrogen, 70% of it. Nitrogen doesn't do a lot in the combustion process. And it just comes right back out, and it's part of the atmosphere again. The heavy parts settle down into the soil and reconstituted into useful things again. And or not. I mean, not everything in the soil is useful, I guess. Is nature recycled pretty quickly, and so 2.9 part per million per year isn't something to be really too concerned about when you're talking about most of it immediately being recycled into something useful. The small increase in carbon dioxide percentage and carbon monoxide percentage, sulfur dioxide percentage, nitrous oxide, and so on. All these things get they wind up reacting and getting interacted with high energy photons and so on, and then plants, of course, recycle the carbon dioxide very nicely, and you just get increased plant population when you have more of that. So there's a regulating mechanism. No one ever talks about how man has increased forestation percentages through managing and getting rid of underbrush and making it so that when lightning catches forest on fire, it doesn't just burn and burn and burn and burn until it's all gone in an area. So, of course, in California it does, because they don't let them manage it. Real brilliant environmentalists. How disgraceful. Not environmentalists, they're just idiots being used by people, and they think they're environmentalists, but I'm sorry, they're not. Most of the time, they aren't being very effective as an environmentalist anyway. Those who manage are effective as environmentalists. But anyway, there's our talk on the global warming hoax. Obviously.